Shell Point. Thank you for joining us today. I have a very special guest with me. For those of you who don't know me by now, I'm Christy Skinner, Senior Director of Healthcare Services, and I'm joined by Madeline Longville. She goes by Maddy. She is our registered dietitian at the Pavilion and for healthcare. And you might know her face from a recent series that we started called Healthy Eating. And we're very excited to have her join us today. And the main reason we have her joining us is for her to get to know you, you to get to know her. So let's get to it. So Maddy, thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm excited to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. So I always like to just start off by asking some simple questions for the audience to get to know you. I think that's one of the favorite things for the Shell Point audience is to just get to know our team members more, so they can understand why you came to Shell Point and why you've got a passion for the field that you're in. So tell us a little bit about how you started your journey into the career path that you did. How did you choose to become a dietitian and work in healthcare?
Definitely. Well, growing up, nutrition was always really important to my family. We all were playing sports very often. I basically have been playing sports since I could walk. So it was really important that my parents gave us good food, and they were always preaching how important it was and staying hydrated. So then when I got to college, I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field that helped everyone. So I heard of the dietetics major and went for it, and I loved it, my first class of nutrition. So that's how I got here.
So what exactly is a dietitian? I know that a lot of people think of dietetics and they might think of nutritionist, get the two crossed over a lot. I'm sure they come to you and ask you both those questions. So can you clarify for us what that is and what that field does?
Yeah, definitely. So being a dietitian, we are truly called the experts of nutrition. So we go through a rigorous education process, and then we go through an internship that is a year to 2 years long, and then that just gives us the opportunity to sit for the dietitian exam, and then we have to pass that, which is not an easy exam. So being a dietitian really means that, like I said, we're the forefront of nutrition, and we really have access to a lot of the recent research that is in today's society that can often be misconstrued by the public.
And there's a lot of things that have misconceptions and misinterpretations when it comes to nutrition. There's so many fads and so many diets that are out there. It's really hard to know what the right thing to do is for our bodies. So I think one of the reasons that you'll see the Healthy Eating series that we're bringing to you and will continue to bring to you, and we hope that you find it beneficial, is talking about nutrition at its base and really bringing it back to what nutrition was intended to be, which is the whole food, and looking at the value of the whole food and the nutritional content of the whole food and really how we're incorporating the whole food here at Shell Point into our different restaurants and our dining venues. We have it in the independent dining venues, whether you go to the Crystal or the Banyan. We have it in our assisted living venues, whether you're going to the Arbor or whether you're going to Kings Crown or the Springs, and we have it in the Pavilion. And letting our residents know that healthy food is incorporated all throughout the continuity here. But why is it so important to look at whole foods in particular and look at our diets and how do they interconnect so much into the way we feel and our health span and our lifespan? Why is that so important?
So as we age, especially, our bodies really change. A lot of that has to do with our nutrition, and keeping really good nutrition is important. So as we age, our body's metabolism decreases, which can often lead to weight gain, and weight gain can lead to other chronic disease states. So it's really important that you are aware of your nutrition and trying to, like you said, eat those whole foods and stay away from processed items. As we age, especially, protein becomes very important. It plays an essential role in tissue growth, muscle repair, and it can help our skin from preventing breakdown. So that's really important as we age. Also, our taste tends to change when we age, so that can impact our nutrition in slightly a different way. It can cause taste aversions, and one year you might have liked chocolate cake and now you don't like sweets as much, and that can kind of impact our weight because we can see weight gain with that. You're not attracted to the same foods that you were before. So as a dietitian, I really try to work with people and help them incorporate techniques into their daily lives to maintain a stable weight, whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight to that healthy homeostasis phase where we can keep you nice and healthy.
So Maddy, talking about a homeostasis phase, I think one of the things that I've noticed in particular, you work really primarily with residents that come to the pavilion when they come there for a short-term stay or when they're there for being one of our long-term guests. So give me an example of how when they come in for a short-term stay, you work with them on their diet.
So in the pavilion, my main role is to assess their diet, assess their weight, assess their skin, and kind of incorporate their daily lifestyle to help meet their needs. So I can calculate all their needs and then help them adapt to their daily lifestyle. So I will help them pick out menu options. I will provide nutrition education as needed. We kind of incorporate all different disease states, diabetes, renal insufficiency, cardiovascular diseases, and I'm able to help them create a diet that is individualized to their needs. And when they go home, they might be going home to different environments, and we like to accommodate those environments as well as we can. So that's really my main role in the pavilion. And also, we really like everyone to feel like they're at home when they're in the pavilion. So we try to make it as home-like as possible. I help assist them in getting them to the dining room and encourage them to come eat with other people and friends. So that's really my main role there.
No, I think that's great because I think a lot of times when we have residents come in for a short-term stay in the pavilion, they're coming in medically compromised, whether it be because they had a scheduled procedure or whether it be because they had an episode that brought them there unexpectedly. Your role is very important in getting their nutritional state to where when they go home, they're better off than when they came to the pavilion, and gets them nice and strong and gets them that nutritional balance, because they might have had something that they were managing for a long time with their nutrition intake that they weren't managing very well at home. And so then you can come in and you can assess and give them recommendations to go back home that they might not have even thought of before. So that's nice to have your expertise there. So we'll switch gears, getting to know you a little bit more personally. That's always fun for the residents, and I'm always intrigues me for somebody who's into nutrition, into food. Are you the cook in your house, and what else do you like to do for fun?
Yes, so I am definitely the cook in my house. Cooking to me is a stress reliever. I love creating new recipes. I've gotten that from my mom. She's a great cook. So I definitely do all the cooking, but I save the dishes for everyone else.
Very nice.
I do not do the dishes. But other than that, I do really love, trying new workout classes. To me, working out is something that I do for fun. It's not just something that I have to do. So I always try to incorporate new classes. I love running, but since moving to Florida, adjusting to the heat has been difficult. So on my free time, I try to stay active, but I also like, going to the beach with friends, and I love going out to eat and trying new foods as well. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Very nice. Well, you can come cook at my house anytime. My husband's the cook in the house. I tell everybody if it was up to me, it would not be a good scene in my house if I was doing the cooking. It would be a lot of salads and fruits in the box or whatever it comes as that way. It would not be anything that was good. So if you were to give one piece of advice to our resident population on nutrition in general, a good place to start or anything that you'd like to tell them, what would be the one piece of advice that you could leave them with that would leave them better off from talking to you than they started?
My piece of advice, as a dietitian, I definitely like to eat healthy. But I'm a big supporter of everything in moderation. I don't believe that there's one diet that fits all because everyone's body is different. So I really am a big supporter of, trying diets that work for you. And I really think that, some foods are not the best in excess, but some foods that aren't so healthy are healthy for your soul. So don't always restrict yourself, just everything in moderation, and try to as much as you can. Not have those all the time, or else it's not really a treat. So I think everything in moderation would be my biggest advice.
I think that's great advice. I've heard a lot of dietitians speak and they follow the 80-20 rule, I think it is. Is that a good one to follow?
Yep.
And I think you're right. I think a little indulgence, but then balance is a good thing.
Exactly.
So, well, it's been a pleasure having you
Thank you
on
for
the show
having me.
today. And it's been a pleasure having you join us in the Healthy Eating series
Thank
because
you.
you're definitely a value add. And you have the knowledge to go along with. I just like to talk about food because I like food, I like healthy food, but it's nice to have somebody that really knows the nutritional content
Of course.
and how to best position it for the residents to get the information that they need. So if you'd like any more information, you can always reach Maddy via her email. Do you want to give the residents your email?
Yep, it's Madeline, Madeline, Longville@shellpoint.org.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us today, Shell Point, and until next time, stay healthy.